everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so very much for clicking on today's video. Today I want to talk to you guys about the recent drama that's been going on within the drama community. About a week ago, a creator by the name of the WillyMacShow released a video discussing how tea and drama channels have been exploiting the crap out of Eugenia Cooney for years. I really enjoy this creator. I think he is a breath of fresh air and really what we needed here on the platform. I love how unapologetic he is and the fact that he can have a conversation without jumping on a bandwagon with everyone else and what everyone else is saying, but actually sharing his own thoughts and opinions in such an unapologetic way. And this video about Eugenia Cooney is no exception. I think that this creator made some amazing points, but with that being said, I do also feel like there are some inconsistencies within this video. As someone who has followed Eugenia Cooney and watched as everything has unfolded throughout the years, I do have to say there were parts of the video that felt very much as if he just Googled it or reached out to a couple of people, maybe watched some clips from a live stream, but I don't think he's necessarily really educated on Eugenia's history and the things that have happened throughout the last 10 years. First thing that I really have a difference of opinion on in this video is when he starts talking about Eugenia Cooney's mother. He mentions in this particular part that people have villainized Eugenia's mother and made her out to be the quote-unquote bad guy. He also brought in another creator for an interview who actually stayed with Eugenia for like 6 days or something like that.
There's people that are going to buy into that narrative because they don't trust Eugenia. They just like Jacqueline Glenn more. That's why I've gone out of my way to interview somebody that actually stayed with her and her mother for a whole week. He slept with them. He ate with them. He got to see the home life. Everyone, I'm here with Drew is sharing. He's going to tell us his experience. I think he knows Eugenia a little bit. How you doing, Drew?
Yo, I'm doing good, man.
So, Drew, how do you know Eugenia?
So we met through the really old school live streaming site YouNow. Back when it was like a totally different site to how it is now, and it was like a proper vlogging community. But then we just sort of, I guess, like everyone who was big on that site knew each other, and over time, like, just kept in contact with people. So when I went to America in like 2015, I think I hung out with Eugenia like 3 times, but then I ended up staying at her house for like a week.
So you stayed at her house for a week when you went to America. So did you get to like know her and her family pretty well? How would you describe like her relationship with her family? Does it seem normal? Is it off?
No, it seems like a really nice family, to be honest. Like, I remember seeing the Shane Dawson stuff and I was like, what? This is so strange, because it all seemed to be making out as if her mum was like some mad person, when I think her mum was one of the nicest people I ever met, and the dynamic seemed perfectly normal. You know, I could tell that, you know, she really cared for Eugenia.
Yeah, so I've been looking at a lot of these tea channels, right? And a lot of them are trying to find someone to blame with the Eugenia Cooney stuff, and her mom tends to be a topic that comes up a lot.
If anything, it's the complete opposite. Like, when I was there, you know, she tried to feed me, like, you know, as much as she possibly could. I guess from where she, like, you know, doesn't manage to do that with Eugenia, as annoying as that must be for her. And the difference between, you know, her mum being supportive of her YouTube and trying to make sure that her mental health is okay, to actually supporting her being anorexic, you know, those are 2 different things.
Yeah, so
having this other creator come on to share their experience of how they stayed there for a week and Eugenia's mom was really nice and they got along and their dynamic was awesome. I don't really see what that is supposed to prove. The concern was never Eugenia's mom and how friendly she was or how nice she was. I'm sure that she is super friendly to other people. I mean, even in Eugenia's videos, she seems to be a very friendly person, but that was never the concern. The relationship between Eugenia and her mother is very toxic. And to be quite frank with you guys, this has nothing to do with Eugenia's appearance or her mental or physical health. In all honesty, anyone who has this type of relationship with their parents is in a very unhealthy and toxic relationship. And not only does she rely on her mom to get wherever she needs to go, she also seeks her mother's approval in everything she does. And don't get me wrong, I love my mama. If I'm going to be doing something big, of course I run it by her. I let her know about it. Of course I want her approval. I want to know what she thinks. But it's not a make or break deal. If for some reason my mother doesn't support my dreams or something that I want to do, that I don't allow that to stop me from actually doing it. Even though Eugenia is almost 30 years old, she is still very much living a lifestyle of someone who is a young teenager. She is extremely sheltered. She stays in her home. Out of her own mouth, she has said she doesn't have that many friends. She doesn't really hang out with people, and that is because she doesn't trust people. As a mother, it's our job to make sure we're raising our children so that they can be successful. And a big part of that is independence and being able to do things on your own. My children are 8 and below, and I let them do things for themselves because I want them to be independent. I want them to be successful, and I don't want them to have to rely on me their whole entire life, because let's face it, I may not always be here, and they need to be able to take care of themselves if and when I'm not here. I don't know why, but Eugenia's mother doesn't look at things that way, and instead she raised her child to rely on her a great deal. She refused to let her grow up, and this isn't me judging her. This is the facts. There's plenty of proof out there, and this is something that's been going on for years. That's exactly why so many people have called it out, because they've seen it going down. If anything was to ever happen to Eugenia's mother, Eugenia is going to be left with a lot of challenges in life that I just don't know if she's ready to even face. When you raise your child to rely on you so much to the point that they are grown and don't even know how to be an adult, that's a problem. Also, there's the whole issue with the fact that Eugenia does seek her mother's approval to a different level than what I would or you would. We have seen in the past where Eugenia has wanted to do things and didn't do it because she didn't think her mother would approve. People are just concerned that if anything was to happen, Eugenia isn't going to know what to do or how to take control of her life. The point is the dynamic itself is just really unhealthy and toxic, and that is where a lot of the concerns come from. When it comes to Eugenia's mental and physical health, the concern with her mother there as well is the fact that she doesn't take control of situations. And yes, Eugenia is a grown adult, but like we just went through, she doesn't live the lifestyle of a grown adult. She is still extremely childlike, and she does rely on her mother to make her appointments, to get her to the doctor. All of these things she relies on her mother for. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like a legitimate concern for us on the outside looking in on why we would be concerned that Eugenia is struggling and seems to get worse and worse as the months go by. What type of people would we be if we weren't concerned on the fact that her mother isn't stepping in and trying to do something about it? I'm not saying that Eugenia's mother doesn't care about her. I'm just saying from the outside looking in, there's a lot of questions on why she doesn't step in more and why she doesn't kind of take control of the situation when she does have so much control over Eugenia. She can't make Eugenia want to get better. She can't make Eugenia want to cover. Eugenia is the only one in control of that. But she can do things to help her daughter and steer her in the right direction. I think that WillyMac made a lot of amazing points when it comes to tea/drama channels and how they have exploited the crap out of this. Even in saying that, I don't think that it is fair to completely just take away all of the concerns, because there are legitimate concerns for Eugenia Cooney and there are red flags. I hate that he didn't combat any of the legitimacy in this video. It was just more so villainizing everyone who's ever talked about Eugenia. He also talks about a bunch of people banding together to try to get Eugenia Cooney banned off of social media. Now, I have shared my opinions on this before. What is she going to have left? If you take away the one thing she has, will she spiral more? Will she go even further down? That is the question. It's such a touchy situation, and you don't really know what to do about it. But I definitely do not think having Eugenia banned off of social media is going to do her any good whatsoever. I actually think it could be really detrimental and dangerous for her. I do not think that Eugenia should be banned off of social media because of her appearance or her mental or physical health. In saying that, however, I do believe that there should be something put into place to protect her viewers, because at the end of the day, Eugenia is in control of her own life. She has to be the one to take control of her life and take the steps needed to get into recovery. No one can do it for her, period. However, when it comes to her viewers, on the other hand, ones that are struggling with ED themselves and young, impressionable people who look at Eugenia as an influencer, because at the end of the day, she is an influencer, you guys. Eugenia's content can be and is extremely dangerous to some of her viewers. And so many young girls and boys coming forward to share their own stories of how they are in active ED because they watched Eugenia's content. We also have other people who have came forward and been strong, sharing their stories of how they relapsed from watching Eugenia's content. A lot of people use Eugenia as inspiration. That is the truth. And although it is not Eugenia's fault that viewers watch her and this happens, it is Eugenia's fault that she does absolutely nothing about it. Adding a trigger warning at the beginning of her clothing haul videos or her shoe haul videos could make such a difference. And also age restricting those videos could make a huge difference. Of course, there's going to be people who still go past all of that and they're going to watch it anyways. But the point is Eugenia would actually be doing something about it. And even if she's in denial about her own ED, she should care enough about her supporters and her subscribers to not want to see them go down the same path, or to not want them to hurt themselves because they watch her. So something as simple as just adding in a trigger warning, or maybe age restricting those certain videos, could at least show that she isn't advocating for it. And this is where a lot of people come with their concerns, because it does look like she doesn't care. The fact that YouTube doesn't step in and make her age restrict her content is also an issue in and on itself, because honestly, I don't care how much money she makes this platform. There are plenty of people who have reached out to YouTube stating how harmful her content is to them, and YouTube just doesn't seem to care. When it comes to the tea channels and commentary channels, I do agree that there are a lot of creators out there that use Eugenia's name because they know that it brings in the clicks and views. For example, if you would have typed in Eugenia's name literally just 2 weeks ago before the WillyMac video, you would have found a plethora of videos of people calling her out for different things, whether it was the toxic things that happen during her live streams or other problematic things that she allows and does herself. Now that this video has released with him calling out all of these channels, go look up Eugenia Cooney's name now. I promise you, it's a completely different narrative. Everyone is calling out these creators who have made videos with their legitimate concerns. And I do agree that there are a lot of channels out there that have stretched this, speculated the house, and made it even a worse situation than what it already was. At the end of the day, we all have our thoughts and opinions, and I think it is okay to talk about that on your platform as long as you can do so in a respectful way. There is a huge conversation to have here, and nobody should feel bad or guilty for having those concerns and wanting to have that conversation with their viewers. When it becomes an issue is when people forget that Eugenia is a human being. You can't allow others to tell you what's right and what's wrong. You have to have that moral compass to know when enough is enough, when to not cross a line or a boundary. You shouldn't need WillyMac to tell you that, or anyone else for that matter. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, whether you agree or disagree. I really do want to hear what you guys think. If you like this video and you want more content like this, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing before you go, and tapping the bell for post notifications. That way you are notified every single time I upload. I appreciate you guys too, the moon and stars, and until the next time, mwah.